The next person, a plumber by trade, saved countless lives in a mass shooting at a Texas church in Sutherland Springs in 2017. Without hesitation or concern for his own safety, he grabbed an AR-15 and ran barefoot toward the sound of gunfire. He didn't run away from it, he ran towards it. Coming from the gunfire coming from a church, and he engaged in a gunfight with a mass murderer. The murderer lost. Let's have a round of applause for Stephen Willeford.
Thank you very much. I just want to say I'm going to go a little bit off the script here, and I'm going to tell you that this is more scary than facing someone shooting at you. I'm from Sutherland Springs. My community is under 600 people. And on November 5th, 2017, evil came into our church and started killing my neighbors. I grabbed my AR-15, the same kind of rifle that these politicians are trying to ban today. And I ran across the street. I confronted him and gunfired. He hit the truck in front of me, the car behind me, and the house behind me. And I hit him. Had I had anything other than an AR-15, I probably would have been counted among the casualties. He had on Class 3 body armor. Now that you know a little bit about me, I want to talk about who you are as Virginians. Virginia is the state, the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence, the state instrumental in designing the Constitution of the United States, one of the greatest documents ever written. Virginia, where founding fathers like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison crafted the Bill of Rights. These rights are protections from the very government that sits in this Capitol building and tries to strip them from you. These rights were given to you by God, not by them. Thomas Jefferson wrote himself, "The Constitution of most of the states assess that all power is inherent in the people, that it is their right and duty," get that, duty, "to be armed at all times." This freedom has been fought for and proclaimed in your streets, your cities, and your countryside. The blood of American patriots has been spilled here for that freedom. Freedom for tyranny, freedom for a government that ignores the voices of its people. Now all of America's eyes are on you, Virginia, wondering whether you will let your rights be encroached upon. This is not just a Virginia problem. We've dealt with governments trying to disarm us before. In 1775, hundreds of British troops marched on Lexington and Concord to confiscate a cache of weapons, knowing that if they could disarm us, they could control us. They were met by over 2,000 Minutemen, farmers, trade owners, and shop owners. Together, these men drove back the British, and they kept their arms and their rights to bear them. This launched a war that would give birth to the greatest nation this world has ever known. Less than 100 years later, in 1835, the Mexican military, controlled by Santa Anna, attempted to seize weapons from Texas settlers. When they arrived to seize the weapons, they were met with a flag bearing the sign of a cannon and the words, "Come and take it." The Mexican soldiers were met with a hastily formed militia of Texans, and they were repelled. Gonzales kept its cannon. And the Texans, with volunteers of other states, including Virginia, won their independence, became a republic, and joined the United States of America. 14 of your own Virginians fought and died at the Alamo. From the Civil War to World War I and World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, and present conflicts, brave men and women have fought and died and answered the call for freedom. We've fought these battles before. Now, instead of sending an army, the government is sitting in this house that you built and trying to legislate away your rights. We will not stand for it. This time, with the wars of past behind us, let us use our voices to proclaim freedom loudly again and let them know they will not disarm us. James Madison, the crafter of the Constitution, believed our freedoms would more likely be gradually and silently encroached upon than violently taken away. These men in power are trying to silence encroachment and take away our rights, hoping that the people would be too complacent and too lazy to stand against them. Well, we're not either lazy or complacent. We won't stand for it.
Amen.
We won't stand idly by and watch our Constitution and our rights that American soldiers throughout history have shed their blood and died for be destroyed. Let's stand in solidarity and use our voices to let people in this Capitol know we will not let them take our rights away. President Ronald Reagan said it best. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on through the bloodstream. It must be fought for and protected and handed to our children for them to do the same. We must be vigilant, we must be united, and we must stand tall and speak loudly. As the heart cannot tell the lungs, that you have cancer, but I do not, so it's none of my affair. Neither can we stand by from California to Texas, all the way to Maine and all states in between, and say that it is none of my affair. It affects all of us. The world is watching right now to see what we'll do. Let it never be said that it is my generation that failed to stop all this tyranny, that it was my generation that let it down for my children, and my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren, and even their children. We have 3 boxes in which to defend our freedom, it's been said. The first box is a soapbox, which I stand on today and speak, and so does everybody here. The second box is the ballot box. November, go out, get registered, and vote.
Amen. Yeah.
The third and final box is the cartridge box. Let's hope that we are generations away from using the cartridge box because it's the last-ditch moment. I need to let everybody know today, including the people in this building, we are not the aggressors here. We are here coming in peace. We are not the aggressors. But we will not comply with bans, registration, or confiscation. We will not comply.
Preach on.
We as legal gun owners, as citizens, we have our backs against the wall. And we will not negotiate anymore. It's time to take back.
Amen. Amen. We're coming.
No more negotiations. If they come to our homes to take our arms and to infringe on our freedoms and violate our freedom, they are the aggressors. They cannot come into our homes. They are the aggressors. And we will stand together. Thank you for standing with me today. God bless Virginia.
All right!
God bless you.
God bless the United States of America.
Yeah.
We stand together.
Yeah.